Welcome back to Wittenberg Academy. We are ready for lesson 20 in Gleason's Greek Primer, and we are going to learn yet another tense. Two tenses actually: the perfect and pluperfect, indicative, middle, and passive. And so he instructs you to learn that. And once again, that's on page 265. And you see it's formed, both of them are formed directly onto the stem with the personal endings. So if you did go ahead and already make a card with these personal endings, you're ahead of the game. But even if you didn't, you're going to get to learn them now. So it's the perfect stem. So the reduplication plus the normal stem. And then the endings my, psi, tai, methus, the, untai. And then for the pluperfect, it's the pluperfect stem. So the augment, the reduplication, the stem, and then main, sa, ta, methus, the, unta. And that's all there is to learning that. But now notice these tenses are inflected by adding the personal endings directly, right? But I just encourage you to learn these as a separate set of endings. The stem of the future perfect, I will have eaten by this time tomorrow, or rather middle passive, it will have been eaten by this time tomorrow, is formed by adding the sigma to the stem of the perfect middle. It's not used very much, and so we won't bother with it. 211, we get how the passive is formed. Pepetai hypaton barbaron. He is sent by the barbarians, but note when you move to the perfect tense, alelita to adolfo. He had been ransomed by his brother, just with the dative, without the preposition. So the agent can be expressed by hypa plus the genitive, but that very often it's expressed by the dative when you're dealing in the perfect and pluperfect. So with perfect and pluperfect tense, the agent of the passive voice is expressed with the dative rather than with hupa and the genitive. Some vocabulary. Hey Aiguptas, Egypt. Ta harma, chariot. Ha barbaros, a barbarian, that is anyone not a Greek. Ta Byzantion, Byzantium. Ha geron, old man. Ha lophos, hill. Ha lachagas, captain. He pule, gate. Paidewo, I bring up or I educate. Eke means there, and hipa is a preposition with the genitive. It means under or from or by. And with the accusative, it means under or to the foot of. So you will want to, once again, make that note in your vocabulary card that hipa has a different meaning depending on which case it's governing. Let's go down to our actual story here. Again, sentences 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not really sentences, they're just making sure that you've practiced your forms of the perfect and pluperfect middle passive. So let's get right into the sentences. Try to work these out on your own, and then come back for the answers. Number 5. Inda Aigupto epipaidota ta tu lachago tekna. So, in Egypt, and then here's our augment, reduplication, and then ending. So this tells me I'm in the pluperfect. So in Egypt, the children of the captain were educated. Now note that's singular, third person singular verb, but again, the nominative, the subject is neuter plural, that takes a singular verb. 6. Ekeigar tata ein didaskalaion agathon kai poloi didaskaloi sophoi. For there was then, so a lot of adverbs piled up there. For there, at that time, there was a good school and many wise teachers. Apei dahora agenata eotan ha hoi mathetai ekton oikion epiton lophon. When the hour had come, or when it was time, When it was time, the students went out of their houses to up on the hill. 8. Kai intauta perdicas etherosan kai theria edioxan. And there they hunted. They hunted doves and pursued beasts. Theria. 9. Hostopoli ornithes tetherontai tois neanias hekusin eis tain komain. Host, since, or rather when or after, when many doves were killed, by the young men. So again, the dative is expressing the agent of this perfect passive. They went into town, into the village. 10. Agenata de autois intauta de non artoi kai ospria. There was for them at that place dinner. So dinner was held for them at that place. Bread and pulse. 11. Tanda oinan uchain pinain chromagar eis tan bicon eripetis. But there was no wine to drink. There was no wine to drink. For someone, someone had thrown onions into the jar. Spoil sport. 12. Kaloetai hipaton geranton kain kai ta harmata kai tas peltas. So he was ordered, or it was ordered, by the old men to burn both the chariots and the shields. 13. Alla utacheos ekbizantiu epiparonta diatan ton barbaron phobon. But, verb epiparonta, but they could not move themselves quickly out of Byzantium on account of the fear of the barbarians. It could also be, they could not be moved. That's probably just using a middle voice deponent, but they could not depart from Byzantium quickly on account of the fear of the barbarians. And 14. Para tais pulais heurentai tois mathetais machairai kai stolai palai. Beside the gates were found by the students swords and many robes. So the many probably goes with both. So it's many swords and robes were found by the boys beside the gates. And there you go. That's it for lesson 20. Study up that vocabulary, and then we'll continue on with lesson 21.